Would you like to talk a little bit about wire fraud and what sort of things companies can do to combat that?
Yeah, I'd prefer not to, because it's such an issue. Yeah, but you're right. It's something that we've dealt with for far too long, and it's something that we monitor from a company standpoint monthly, daily. We put in a lot of different procedures internally to protect our clients. Can't really get into all of those, but I will share with you that it's at the forefront of our mind. I mean, I joke when I say this, but it's very real in that I almost want to tell anyone that's wiring us money or anyone that's involved in a transaction, someone is trying to steal your money. And they're going to be emailing you. And if you get anything that looks suspicious, call us. And call us on a number that you've always had, right? Don't call off the number that's in the email. Call from a known number. So we have a very strict procedure that we follow when we first get the contract, and that we speak to the buyers and the sellers, anyone that's going to be wiring money to us, exactly how that needs to happen. We have a whole task force corporately that helps us deal with it. We have very good relationships with our banking partners to help us kind of stop it if we see it early enough. But what I would tell everyone, again, it goes back to educating themselves on title insurance and understanding what they're getting themselves into. Educate yourself on wire fraud. Don't click on those links in the email. We always say look for punctuation, because the fraudsters are horrible at spelling and punctuation. So if something looks off, it probably is. But the really scary part is for the consumer is the fraudsters tend to ghost us. So they'll send emails that look like it came from our email. Their signature line will look identical to us. They'll grab our logos, and the good and the bad of the internet is you can find anything online. So we just had a situation the other day where I supposedly asked one of our offices to wire out a large sum of money, which I would never do. But one internet search away, you can find out who I am, my email address, and which company I work for, and some people will take advantage of that. So I always tell everyone, use your spidey sense. If it just doesn't feel right, ask the question. Taking a couple extra minutes to verify, it's not the end of the world. I know we live in a very busy time, but picking up the phone and calling your closer, your processor, the manager at the title company, your realtor, your lender, just to verify, it will go a long way, and it will hopefully save some heartburn in the future.
I know I've read a lot about these cases, and one of the things that they do is manipulate emotion. So definitely reaching out to home buyers and letting them know if someone is making it seem like something really bad is going to happen if you don't act now, that's a pretty good indication that you might be getting scammed. So always take the time to just slow down and, like you said, just double check, pick up the phone with a known number, and call your realtor or your title agent to make sure that they're talking to the right person.
Absolutely. We have purposely removed the realtor from that process. Years ago, 5, 6, 7 years ago, the realtor was always the one that would help kind of move the documents around, because that was the known entity to the buyer or the seller. And so what we've done, we tried to change that. We tried to protect the realtor, remove them from any of that, remove them from that situation where they're handling instructions. We want the buyer and the seller to come directly to us. We'll manage that. We'll make sure they have an encrypted way to contact us and receive our wiring information. But one thing that I tell people all the time is our information never changes. So if some way, somewhere along the way, you, the client, the consumer, says, we must wire to this new bank account, chances are it doesn't work that way. Title companies rarely change their banking relationships. And I would just, again, it's another red flag. Use your gut. Something doesn't look right. Make a phone call.